This is the French Band Type 7, and it served back in September of 1916. Very fast, very durable, very difficult to bring down. Folks with Athens is at a full-scale reproduction. Yep, that was a pretty compact machine. About a 20-foot, 25-foot wingspan on it. Maybe 20 feet long or so. Compact, single-place airplane. Certainly in 1916 and 1917, the Stag was probably the fastest airplane on the front line. Had a very, very thin airfoil, which meant that it had to have a lot of air moving on it to give it lift. And it powered it with a big 150 horsepower or 180 horsepower external squeeze-out V8 water-cooled engine. This airplane was never seriously outclassed in World War I, even by much later aircraft. Very rugged. If you were in trouble in your Stag, if you were against a pilot who had more skill than you did, you could go to full power, lower the nose, and probably outrun just about any other airplane that may be in the sky at that time. This is a little bit more modern reproduction airplane, built with a steel-tube fuselage and a modern engine, and disc brakes and a tail wheel, which allow us to take it to other air shows and promote the activities here at Old Rhinebeck Aerodrome. This was the last airplane built by Carl Swanson out of Darien, Wisconsin. And like our founder, Cole Palin, Carl Swanson spent his life building World War I airplanes. He built 20 reproduction airplanes altogether. About half of those were built just like the originals and are in museums all around the world. The other half were built a little bit more modern, a little bit more usable. Here we go, 1915, the French Stag on takeoff. See the stork on the side of this is from the famed Stork Squadron of World War I in France. Our Stag today in the colors of Georges Guinemer, one of the most colorful and heroic pilots of World War I. Back in January of 1917, Guinemer shot down 5 aircraft in a 5-day span. A few months later, in May of 1917, he shot down 4 airplanes in one day. He shot down himself 7 different times, survived all of those. And then back in September of 1917, after his 54th victory, Georges Guinemer took off on patrol and never returned. Still one of the great mysteries of World War I aviation. Stag also had excellent diving ability, fast, and certainly used very successfully by France's top pilots. As we await from the sky, our next World War I airplane from 1918. Built by the Dutchman XIII Fokker, his designer Reinhold Platz, for the German Army. For the German Air Force, the magnificent Fokker DVII. Take a look at this machine, folks. This is built just like the original and powered with its original 1918 Mercedes engine. The paint scheme on this is very bizarre. However, this is a documented World War I paint scheme used on one airplane flown by a pilot by the name of Airshow. And that is a scene from a Grimm Brothers fairy tale entitled The Seven Swabians. And if you've ever read any of the Grimm Brothers fairy tales, there can be a little bit bizarre. The Seven Swabians also is. I don't have the full story here with me today, but I've read it numerous times. You get a chance, look up the Grimm Brothers and read The Seven Swabians. Very, very interesting about these 7 small people being attacked by this giant rabbit, and very, very bizarre. But it was used on one airplane back in World War I. When Cole Palin first built this airplane in 1993, that was the first TV show. Listen to the sound of the 1918 Mercedes engine on the Fokker DVII. Certainly the best airplane that Germany had in World War I, and overall one of the best airplanes manufactured between 1914 and 1918. The D-7 won a fighter trial. It was held in January of 1918. Many airplanes were entered into that. All the airplanes in that competition were to be powered by the Mercedes engine. The Red Bear of Germany, Manfred von Richthofen, that flew the D-7. However, he never flew in combat, especially with Fokker triplane. He lost his life there in April of 1917. The D-7 was the ideal compromise, speed, climb, and maneuverability. Not the fastest, not the most maneuverable, but overall, it had the best handling characteristics. Here they come, circle number 1, stand on the tail of the D-7. Early on in World War I, the airplane was first used just for reconnaissance and observation, going up over enemy lines, flying over the enemy lines, reporting back to the superior officers of what was going on the ground. Scouting planes, they were called. Eventually, the opposition would send up their own scout plane to try to fend off the observer. They began taking handguns, small rifles up for them, eventually mounting machine guns onto the wings of the airplanes. As the dawn of World War I was born. Round number 2, D-7 on the tail of the Spad now. The tail of the British. As a Dutchman, XIII Fokker offered his services to both the Allied and the Axis countries. Germany picked him up quickly. And he built many successful airplanes for Germany through World War I. One of the first to incorporate welded steel tubes for a fuselage, and also cladding the wings. On the D-7, there's no diagonal cross bracing to brace the wings. It's all braced internally, making it a very, very clean flying machine. Mercedes engine on the D-7, water-cooled, you see the big gas radiator out in front. How would these two fare in a dogfight? Well, the Spad could outrun the D-7. The D-7 could probably outmaneuver the Spad, and like many dogfights, it came down to pilot skill and ability. The D-7 was singled out to be surrendered in the armistice. The only airplane was specified in the armistice at the end of World War I. They brought about 140 over here to the United States for testing in Texas. Well, here's the bullseye and the targets on the way to the Spad. Those are actually called Rondells. Those were international markings of the Allied airplanes. It had some sort of a red, white, and blue Rondell. And the Axis aircraft usually has a black cross. Now, either pilot not able to get the advantage, breaking off the opposite ends of the airfield, D-7 to your left, Spad to your right, can only mean one thing.
And crossing the
time for the dreaded head-on pass.
Okay, I need to zoom out.
A game of chicken, if you will. Both of these aircraft equipped with machine guns firing through the propeller. The machine guns are actually timed with the engine, so they fire between the blades. Here they come, Spad on the right, D-7 from the left. Who's going to get the advantage? Whoa! That was mighty, mighty close. I thought I saw a little fabric out there. They might have straight rejects on that bag. That was close. Actually, that looks close. They got it all times up there, different altitude, separation. Boy, it looks good, isn't it? Looks like the Spad has had enough. He's ready to come in the land.